afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, December 14, 2024, about 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Interesting that we all know that there are not many things guaranteed in this life. Yet one thing that is 100% guaranteed, and most people would probably miss it, they wouldn't, or they wouldn't have an answer for it. At some point, we are going to return to God. Sooner or later. It will happen either when your body is still alive or when your body stops breathing. And when you return to God, what we're talking about is that you leave the body your God. Or you discover the God that you are within the body. Either way, it's 100% guarantee that it will take place. Eventually, we will feel intimately connected with God again. So it's not about, and I share this with people, there's no reason to worry about when or how. All roads lead back to God. The path ahead and the path behind you. Both lead back to God. God is unavoidable because our past and future are just mental concepts which only exist within this living present moment. And the mind alone is always blind to the divine. It is only with a quiet, surrendered mind that we may access an open, receptive heart which can see God in everyone and everything. And the mind just doesn't care to realize how ignorant it actually is. It doesn't want to see how powerless, unfulfilled, and trapped it is. As this would cause a huge embarrassment for the ego. So it really is 100% guaranteed. So some people worry that, how long is it going to take me to return to the God that I am? And there's no reason for that. That's ego mind play. Because we will, eventually, all of us, we will spiritually wake up. The mind realizes its petty search in the outer world to find everlasting satisfaction is spiritually fruitless. And only when the mind surrenders to God do we discover what absolute bliss feels like. Otherwise, the mind will continue to persist in its addictive habits of seeking fulfillment in the outer world. It will ignore seeing how true bliss is available here now, as it needs to continue its addictive search for years, decades, and lifetimes. The mind is always trying to get its desires met by people, food, substances, money, ideas, and is in the habit of constantly yearning for something. Yet, as we all know, once the mind gets what it wants, it's happy. It is happy. I mean, we experience happiness all over the planet. But then it's only short-lived. It's a short while. And then it's back on the hamster wheel again, searching for fulfillment again. And the mind is deeply unaware that it can never, ever be, do you imagine that? It can never, ever be truly satisfied. It isn't aware of that. So it does this incessant searching to find satisfaction, but it never ends up finding satisfaction permanently because it's only short-lived. You can see that in the people of this planet. You can see it everywhere. It's good to know that whatever happens in this life, We should take the word mistake out of our vocabulary. We really should. It gives people an ill feeling, worry feeling, stressful feeling, fearful feeling, guilt, not good enough, or it's just not a good, it shouldn't be used. There are really no mistakes. God is an infinitely positive creative energy, and this fierce force does not know what a mistake is. Every mistake that we perceive to be real or true is really simply the mind forming another judgment. That's all it is. There is universal right? There is a universal right or wrong book, right? There is only deeper shades of truth, in which each higher layer only reveals a lighter perspective on our enlightening mission we are here to learn. Because we will move into the comprehension that the God source inside us, we will be that 24 hours a day. And this is the only thing that will truly satisfy everything, because everything else falls vastly short. Feeling into our own personal, intimate connection with the divine is the most important thing we can do with our time each day. Everything else that we do is going to be the ego seeking some form of gratification, which of course will not last. This is why people, they could have a lot of something, right? And then someone else said, wow, you really need all that? No, actually, I don't think I had enough. I have to get more. That's the ego. See? And we've got to be aware of it, as it is easily caught in complaints, negativity, and creating problems that weren't there before. Wouldn't that be motivational enough for us to master it, to go within, to practice being in the now? It's because the only way you're going to master the ego mind. Our only job is to move beyond our ego, transcend our small selves, and step into the big self that we truly are. And when we finally surrender to God at the center of our soul, we will know without a doubt that we have just discovered the most amazing experience of coming home. When we're not in God and with God, we are not home. But the majority of us just don't, it's just not there. We don't know yet. See, all of us, we already are the final word and the ultimate authority of our life. That's the real freedom. It is about recognizing that all of us are the final word and ultimate authority of our life. Nobody else is. It is knowing that what we honestly believe is what becomes real. And this is the end truth and final reality. There are over 8.5 billion different realities on this planet right now. And we are one of them. And the moment we choose to believe we can be wild and fully self-expressed, fun, free beings is the exact same moment we realize that we already are the absolute final authority of our lives. And the real truth is that all of us are already constantly manifesting everything in our lives. And wherever we place our attention for an extended period of time is where our energy flows and what we manifest. We are already one with the great God source. We don't have to be there. We already are there. And it is creating everything around us through us. Our greatest freedom comes from understanding this surrendering to this truth and feeling how it shows up in everything we do. Every action we take in this life is an expression and extension of our consciousness. Whatever we are feeling, whatever you are feeling about yourself and this life is emanating energy out into this world around you. Nothing and no one is separate from each other. We are all impacting each other all the time. And by becoming more sensitive to this truth, it becomes obvious how our own limiting beliefs are imprisoning us and stopping us from living the amazing life we were birthed to live. And how many of us, right, in this very now moment, we allow the behavior of others to destroy our inner peace? And the greatest transformations in this life often show up in the most subtle and gentle forms. It is vital that we first see where the prisons exist in our lives and understand how each one is sustained each day in order to demolish it from our minds. Initially, we may not see the prison walls around us because we are so used to them. And these invisible cell bars are all the limiting, skeptical, doubtful, and negative beliefs we carry each day. It is a long, compromising list of constrictive ideas that we tell ourselves who we are and what is impossible to achieve. To give ourselves permission to be totally wild and absolutely free starts with finding and releasing every limiting belief which you are clinging to that makes you feel not so expansive and free. Find those heavy negative thoughts which you honestly feel are true and real about yourself, yet also make you feel sick, stuck, heavy, very unhappy. Let them go, because they are just ideas which no longer serve your greatest good. Now, for some it may sound ridiculously simple. Oh, it's a piece of cake. Yet when you reach down into the core of you, you'll find that the truth that you are the God source itself, making up all the rules as you go, and that is all there is. You're the God source itself, making up all the rules as you go. And when you are ready to empower yourself and manifest the most amazing life, you will discover this truth, and then life just naturally becomes easier, more magical, and amazing. See, every step we take, let's say there's no pavement there, right, or surface to walk on. So each step, automatically, there is something to walk on. Where's that coming from? Us. We're manifesting every step we take. And the foundation and firmness of where we step, we manifest. So in order to stop being attached to all our limiting beliefs and heavy thoughts, it's a choice. We must deeply desire to be free. With ourselves first. And choose. We must feel into our suffering inside in order to let it go. There must be a visceral feeling in the body of the stuckness first in order for the release to be real. Then we must choose to continuously step back from it and see how every apparently good and bad belief we had about who we are fall into the pile of small limiting beliefs. We must choose to leave behind all beliefs to be free. Let go of all of our disappointments, hopes, and fears when we want to truly start living, because attachment to any belief will create some form of future suffering. We've all done that. Haven't you believed in something, right? Really? I mean, heavy duty. And it didn't happen or it didn't work out. How many of us live this life as if everything could end tomorrow? And also be this eternal spiritual being who knows that nothing could ever destroy us. This is our life. So how come we don't live it to the max? Because we don't know how long we're going to be around, which means in these bodies. The universe has given us a mouth to smile with. Not many people smile anymore. That's unfortunate. And a body to enjoy. Do not waste a day that you were here on this beautiful planet. Go outside, live your life totally, fully, and truly. Whatever you choose to do, live it to the fullest. The non-attachment to others' opinions of you is one of the most self-loving, natural, and honorable ways we can live each day. Non-attachment, okay? So many of us are corralled, directed, pressed, pressured, stressed, based upon our attachment to others' opinions of us. This is the golden key that turns the lock to realizing at the core who and what we are is already a powerful, divine, and magnificent spiritual being. And this spirit and soul, who we really are in essence, is already always free. Here's where it's at. We, in this very now moment, some of us are taking the risk to get to know our basic spiritual nature. Excuse me. Feel the essence of our infinite spirit inside. This is something that cannot be contained, imprisoned, nor taken away by anything or anyone in the outer world. Realizing this is real freedom. And this spiritually free feeling is our natural state of being. All exploration and expression from this place is the most loving act we can give to ourselves and others. And the full expression of our real spiritual nature is the deepest gift we can give, as it is the greatest honoring of who we truly are. Now, some of us in this matrix may think that becoming a wildly liberated human being is not the top priority on our to-do list this week. Yet if it's not in there somewhere, you definitely aren't going to enjoy doing anything on that list of yours. And without wild freedom, our entire lives become a chore, a burden, a heavy job that must be accomplished, just so we can get our wants and needs met. And when we do not stop this nonsense and turn that golden key to unlocking spiritual freedom, we will miss out on the main core purpose of our life, which is to enjoy the short time we are here and alive. It is only by experiencing truth on our own freedom, freedom happens. Freedom is the fragrance of the experience of truth. Osho. First basic step to this freedom is learning how to continuously let go of what others think of you 24 hours a day. This means releasing what you think your immediate friends, family, co-workers, and lovers think about you. Honestly, do you know exactly what goes on in their minds? When you drop what you think their opinions are of you, you can actually release whatever your opinions are about you. As long as you are attached to what anyone thinks about you, you will never be able to be totally free from what your mind thinks, believes, and perceives about you. The mind is a super judge. It believes it is. It's always judging, comparing, and labeling and something or someone or something. And then changing its mind again, judging again, changing again. And the mind is a genius at creating all sorts of fanatical, exaggerated opinions, beliefs, and stories. How do you think rumors get started? You know, look at, you can watch it, see how it unfolds. When we understand this truth, it's easy to totally let go of what others think of you, for their opinions will always change. This creates the space inside you to think outside the box and believe whatever you want to believe about you and what you are. You hear me say this a lot. It's all about you. This spaciousness is the very source of your greatest freedom. So what do? You step back from your thoughts, because they're all borrowed ideas from other people anyway. And deep down, this life is more humorous and ironic than we realize. We are creating all of our suffering and joy all day long, every day. We are responsible for all of it. And the irony is that each day along this lifelong journey, at the very core of our being, is a river of perpetual loving creative energy, overflowing with deep healing peace. We do not have to go anywhere to find it. All we simply need to do is sit, become deeply relaxed in the body, train the mind not to cling to any thought that arises. It might take some time to relax the body and be truly cling-free and deeply find peace. Yet, doing so, you will experience your soul essence and spiritual nature. There is nothing more important that you should be doing with your life. Because you see, once we acknowledge with ourselves about who and what we are, then we discover the truth. And everything that we've been taught is not the truth. And as we go along on our discoveries, we begin to realize is that, cripe, all I got to do is focus through my heart mind on things, not my ego mind. And now I know what my ego mind is, which is huge. And now I know how to stay away from the ego mind, not run away from it, but stay in the now. You can look at the ego mind from outside. And this is how we learn how to master it. And then it finds peace, which it never thought it would. and it is no longer there. It was an illusion to begin with. It was an illusion to teach us how to overcome it, and along the way, all that we experience with it. Now we have, see, everything that we could ever possibly want, need, have is within us. And look at throughout the ages how many of us have strived outside of ourselves to find it. When all along, it's always been here within us. Never goes anywhere, never dissipates. It's always there, waiting. It's like, in certain situations, many of us will go, well, I'd love to do that, but I'm not going to do that. What do you have, all the time in the world? We're not talking about rushing. See, some people think it's rushing. No, we're not talking about rushing. We're talking about fully embracing things that you do, that you feel kind of like, I'd really like to do that, right? But then what happens? Insecure ego mind comes in and kiboshes it most of the time. Then you have other ones of us that say, heck, I'm going for it. I'm here to have fun and enjoy this life. Well, what happens if this, and this? That's part of the fun, isn't it? We as a people, which is understandable, we have become so complacent. We have become so fixed in our ways and direction. And so once we get used to something, and none of us are exempt from it, we just, it feels, oh, this is great, I've got this, and this, and this little niche here, this, and I'm fine. I don't really feel compelled to go outside of that. And we don't. And then, when we leave the body, most of us will say, I can't believe I spent all that time in my life worrying, stressing, and fearing about this, and being afraid of this, and not doing this, and I actually came here to enjoy my life and enjoy the body that I was given. You notice it, and there's a feeling that we get as this time is so accelerated, it's just zooming by, right? Doesn't it feel like that it was just, right now, it feels like last year's holiday. Really. It feels like that time just kind of went so fast that here we are again. And look at the differences and the changes going on around us. And what tuning or attunement that we have had with it. Well, a lot of us have focused a lot of time in one direction, and we have manifested it. Now, who do you think what do you think's doing all this? Is it the guy with the white beard and the lightning bolt up in the clouds? No, we know that is all made up. Is it some, super powerful flash from the great central sun of the universe? No. It's us. It's the gods that we are, collectively. There's nothing more powerful than billions of gods and organic bodies. Period. And we're all here on this planet. And the irony to it is that we don't know it. We don't know it. And all that's about is choosing to do what? Become aware. Embrace. First ourselves, and then once that's done, the rest is a piece of cake. It really is. So as we view things and perceive things, we want a planet that is absolutely spectacular. It is now, right? But it's kind of dulled out because of all of the atrocities that were applied to it. We want a vibrant God-planet paradise. We all want to be at peace with ourselves and everything around us. We also desire to live and exist in spirit, in God, which we all are. Not material physical. It doesn't mean that we don't enjoy material physical. It's just that now we know who and what we are. Big difference, huge difference. And then, since we're already omnipotently powerful, supreme manifesting abundant beings that never die. You imagine how much fun this civilization will eventually embrace. They never thought ever, ever, ever possible. And the only reason it becomes possible is because we begin to embrace the gods within us. That's how it works. Are we filled with revenge and anger and hate? No. Filled with love, gratitude, kindness, generosity, and humbleness for ourselves and everything around us. Period. And see, if you really, truly want to get down to the core of you, ask yourself some deep personal questions. What hole inside you are you trying to fill? It's a good question. Where do you feel trapped in your life and why? I would just write it down. Write down the questions and your answers. Make it an event. It's an enlightening exercise, and it gently opens the door to your soul. See, because when we discover where we feel trapped and empty, you'll see why you're clinging to those things that you cannot let go of. And this understanding, this comprehension, is the most important next step of our wild journey coming ahead. And here's the true, absolute, real battle. When the real battle is won, is when we see that there are no real enemies out there. And that the only real enemy is the imaginary one within our own minds. And this realization is the sacred path of our enlightenment and finding our inner wildness within is the bridge back to our spiritual essence, simply because our spiritual nature is wild, free, and untamable. And expressing this wild spirit within ourselves awakens us from the almighty ego trip we are on. It unlocks the door so that we can step into the vast universe and deeply take care of our wounded selves in the most sensitive, loving, and healing ways. Because we're going to get there, see? There's no chance of you not getting there. And when we discover this connection to our real spiritual nature, we will instantly see how every human being, Homo sapien human being, is a soul and a spiritual gift to our lives as well. And from this place, each of us, each being we encounter becomes the source of more love, joy, and inner peace in our lives. And when we give ourselves permission to feel spiritually connected, when amongst others we truly become the wild, unstoppable, free being we were born to be. We no longer feel wounded, avoid others, or resist letting ourselves be nourished and loved. We start embracing the divinity that we all actually are. And the more we practice feeling into this spiritual connection, the better life feels, and the more real our divinity becomes. Comprehending that you are a spiritual being, you realize there is nobody to fight with or against anymore. You see everyone as your friend and greatest teacher. And when we can live 24 hours of one day knowing we are all sacred, divine, spiritual beings that will never, ever die, we will stop suffering completely. The fight will end with others and within ourselves. We can all then realize together that we are the ultimate authority of our individual realities and capable of creating heaven any moment we want to on this earth. Joining in meditation, I'll return close to self.
Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focused on the breath rising and falling. Gentleness is the key to your happiness. So for the next 24 hours, I invite you to be ever so gentle with yourself. Do it for one day. Choose to be continuously gentle with your body, your feelings, and every thought you're thinking. And in 24 hours from now, I guarantee that you'll be amazed at how good you feel. It feels so good to explore your lightest ways of being. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, the following morning. We'll return here Sunday, December 15, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on within you, nor outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.